Hi, it's Lisa, and it's the first day of spring, March 19th, 2020, and let's come outside and see what's happening in the garden. It was an easy winter, but that still doesn't make it easy for cleaning up. There's tons of leaves, things knocked over, sticks, all sorts of great things to clean up. Some of my concrete statues that we leave outside are going to have to be put back together again. Lots of work to do, but kind of exciting to see some of the little green bits coming up. Pretty soon these gardens will just be overflowing with flowers. Lots of leaves, but that's because it provides a really great layer of insulation for all the plants, and it's a place for bugs and other little critters to hibernate. So as you can see, we have some daffodils coming up here, poking right through the leaves. Oh, they're there. We will have flowers in here soon enough. So another chore is going to be swapping out my planters. I have live flowers in here, usually mandevilla vines, in the summer once the frost warnings have been lifted. But for spring and for winter, I fill these with silk flowers. It takes a shockingly large amount of them to fill them up. So those will have to come out soon. So this is my front yard, and oh, we've only just begun. So this will probably be what I clean up first, just because you can see this from the street. And then I also have this little garden over here, which will have to be cleaned up. You can see that the frost has heaved the dirt a bit. So we've got things that are a little crooked. Got some things I've purchased over the winter at thrift stores waiting to be turned into a project. So this is one of the gardens that will have to be cleaned up. Cut back the grasses in the spring because we were transplanting them, but usually I will leave them tall for some winter interest. So yeah, gardens around the whole house really. So in addition to the front garden here, I did 2 hell strip gardens, and it would be hard really to look at this and think that this is going to look like anything. It just looks like a strip of mud where dogs like to do their business. We are a very popular yard on this street for dogs to stop and do their business. And I have another hell strip over here. And you can see some of the things are starting to come up. Some of the daylilies are like, hey! And this won't look nice, I promise. This sad little area I've been trying to transform into something. Hasn't worked out so well, so we'll have to take another look at this when things start getting to go. But we've got some tulips coming up. And with these big trees in our backyard, we always get a lot of sticks coming down. Just when I think there are no limbs left that could come down, here they are. There's some of the ornamental grass that we transplanted. I added this little strip of garden to the shade garden over here because grass was just not growing there. So anytime I can add a new garden or a new bed, I do. So as you can see, there's some of the sticks we're gonna have to clean up, and we have to take all of our stuff to a yard waste station, and I have an SUV, so that's super fun. So this is one of my favorite gardens in the yard. It's a shade garden. You can see the bunnies something to eat over the winter. These have always grown back for me. A lot of work to do in this one too. For whatever reason, this is a tough garden, and I've planted so many things in here that have died, so I decided to put some small evergreens in pots, and so far they've done well. Those are dwarf Alberta spruces, and they're both doing pretty well. It's an arborvitae in the middle, like the only thing that has really survived in this bed. I've had rhododendrons over here and hydrangeas. I don't know what it is about this spot. I don't know if it's the soil. My obelisk fell out of the pot there. It's hard to believe walking around looking that any of this is going to look good. It kind of makes me just want to go back inside and say, hey, not this year. Coronavirus after all. I'm hunkering down. But I'm actually pretty excited to get out here and get to work. Although it's kind of early to lift up all the leaves, because it could snow again. It's only March 19th. And this is going to be a big project. The pond always takes some work to get back open. We had to put a big net over it in the fall to keep the leaves from just falling to the bottom and decaying. And that is an air bubbler that kept a hole in the ice all winter long, so that like decaying and material and noxious fumes could get out. And I've seen some of my fish. I don't know if you can see that orange guy right there. They're still kind of hunkering down at the bottom. But I don't think I lost any. I don't see anybody floating. Some winters have not been as kind to my fish. But I'm excited for them to be out and about and swimming around again. So this is, my neighbor's out. Nothing grows here. So I have a few shade plants, and I have these garden flower plates that I've made. I call it my art installation. And I'll be making more of those this year. Another little shady garden with tons of leaves to come up. Looks like that arborvitae maybe had a stick fall or some snow. Might have to try to tie that together and see how that works out. It's hard to believe that this is going to look amazing in a couple months. You can see the hostas and their old leaves. We'll have to clean those up. I planted a ton of bulbs because every spring I'm always disappointed with my number of bulbs, so it will be interesting to see how they look, and I'm sure I'll want more. So this is actually a great time of year once they start coming out to take pictures of your garden, so you can decide in the fall where you need to add more. I redesigned this whole bed last fall, and so I guess I got lazy and did not put all of my pavers back, so that's something I'll have to do. I have a lot of concrete statues, and some of them are just too big to put away, so we cover them up with tarps. So I'm gonna have to work on that. That never made it to the shed. Oh, look. This guy broke in half. The snow came really early last year, like early November. A lot of stuff just didn't get put away. Yeah, so these guys are gonna have to be set up. We've got another tarp out here covering up a fountain. So in addition to all of the work that I have to do in the yard, this whole little play shed is filled with decorations that will go in the yard, on the deck. It takes days and days to put them all away, and I get a lot of complaints from everybody in my family that I have too many things. So that'll be fun. That statue fell over. We get a lot of trash back here too. I don't know why. Our yard is so windy and we end up with other people's trash in our yard. That's super fun. I actually planted a lot of new things last year and I'm really curious to see how they're going to turn out. This section back here, we had a swing set and we took it down and I planted a lot of new things. And I'm hoping it looks nice. This guy fell over. Oh, and I planted a little Japanese maple, an Acer, and it looks like the rabbits have been eating it. I did not know that they would eat this. So that will be very interesting to see how that turns out. Oh look, pebbles that didn't get put down. So, another stick that fell. That obelisk fell down. Lots of things fell over. We've gathered up some of the sticks that have fallen over the winter. This yard's really windy. We had some really bad windstorms. This shed also filled with stuff that's gonna have to go out. Let's see if I can open it. It's always a big weekend when we decide to put everything away. Can't get it open. And as you can see, not everything made it in. This is a pretty cool little shade garden as well. And I redid some of this too. And it looks like the rabbits have also been feasting on my spirea. And it'll be interesting to see how that regrows. So basically they were doing some pruning for me. Got some old clematis we're gonna have to trim up. This horrible just throw it back behind the garage area is going to have to be cleaned up. I promise, stay tuned for future videos to see how nice this looks. This is just an example of post-winter destruction. So we used to have an above ground pool here and we put in this koi pond. We put in this little patio. We expanded the deck. Got a hot tub and that gets an awning over it. So it's a really nice outdoor space. But I do have a million things I put out here, so it's quite the adventure to get the garden set up. And like last year was super rainy. It just rained and rained and it took a long time to get everything set up and I didn't even put it all out. But there's a garden all around the pond as well. We basically took all the dirt that we scooped out to make the pond and made this berm. So there's a lot to clean here. Oh boy. And there's a little river behind here that's filled with leaves. That will be so much fun to clean out. But it is so pretty when it's all set up and the flowers are blooming and the fish are out and the water lilies are blooming. So there is a lot of work to do. If I had it my way, there'd be way more gardens back here. Maybe a gazebo, maybe another patio. My husband likes his grass. So, I'm not going to get out here quite yet. Like I said, it's still the end of March. Very likely we'll have more snow. And our yard waste station isn't even open yet. So I wouldn't have anywhere to take all of the leaves. But it's kind of nice to get out here and see some signs of life. These are hyacinths I planted last year. This is a favorite spring spot because I have a lot of hellebores out here. And they're among the first to come out. And they're just getting started. And then, because I like to make projects and decorate my garden, this is stuff that I have found at thrift shops over the winter. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I will come up with some projects and I will share those with you as well. So this brings us back around to where we started. Two little gardens over here. More things that have fallen over that need to be cleaned up. And we get back to the house. Wish me luck. Part of me just wants to say, no way, not this year. But once everything starts coming out, it gets really exciting and it's like an Easter egg hunt. You go out every day and look for new flowers. So subscribe to my channel and you can see more videos of my garden throughout the summer and some of the projects I'm going to make. And maybe you can share some of your pictures too, because I love gardening. And if we are indeed going to be stuck at home for quite a while because of this coronavirus, getting under in the yard might be a really nice thing to do this year. All right, until next time. Thanks.